The fall of Bashar al-Assad in Syria represents a monumental shift in the Middle East, comparable to the changes that followed the creation of the State of Israel in 1948 and the end of the Second World War. For over 4 decades, the Assad family, first under Father Hafiz and later under Bashar, ruled Syria with an iron fist. After more than a decade of brutal civil war, rebel forces, which had long sought to overthrow Assad, managed to topple his regime in a matter of days. This rapid offensive, lasting less than 2 weeks, culminated with opposition forces entering the capital city of Damascus and declaring the end of Assad's rule. For the past 8 to 10 years, Assad's government managed to stay in power due to the military support of Russia and Iran. However, both countries have recently shifted towards diplomatic strategies to safeguard their interests in Syria rather than providing direct military assistance to Assad. This change in alignment and the shift in strategy contributed to Assad's downfall. The rapid collapse of Assad's regime was also a consequence of two major regional conflicts. Of course, Russia's preoccupation with the war in Ukraine and Israel's ongoing conflict with Hezbollah and Iran left Assad without the robust support he once relied upon. Exhausted by the war in Ukraine, Russia proved unable or perhaps even unwilling to intervene as it had in the past. Meanwhile, Israel's relentless campaign against Iranian and Hezbollah forces in Syria significantly weakened their capacity to come to the aid of Assad. This sudden shift has potential consequences for Israel as well. After Assad's departure to Russia, Israel found itself stepping into the demilitarized buffer zone in the Golan Heights, which was previously under Syrian control, to prevent insurgent forces from seizing the area. The Israeli military also carried out airstrikes on Assad's weapon depots, particularly targeting chemical weapons, air defense batteries, and missile factories to make sure that such weapons did not fall into the hands of the newly empowered rebel factions that have taken over Damascus. While many Syrians have welcomed Assad's fall after enduring years of violent repression, the country now faces an uncertain future. The most prominent figure among the rebels is Abu Muhammad al-Jolani, who is the leader of the Islamist group Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, HTS, which was once linked to Al-Qaeda. Jolani's announcement of victory from the historic Umayyad Mosque in Damascus, a highly symbolic site, shows that ideology is certain to play a key role in the governance of the country. Despite HCH's attempts to moderate its rhetoric for political legitimacy, its roots in radical politics remain a significant concern. Meanwhile, the Islamic State is also still active in parts of Syria, and the recent American attacks on IS camps and leaders in central Syria may be a signal to both the insurgents and the future regime about American intentions under Donald Trump. Meanwhile, the geopolitical dynamics between NATO allies, Turkey, and the US further complicate the situation. Turkey, which has long been opposed to Assad, is pleased with his downfall. However, Turkey's relationship with the rebels is complicated as it has supported some groups but not the HTS itself. The Turkish military has been actively targeting Kurdish forces in northern Syria, viewing them as linked to the group called PKK, the Kurdistan Workers' Party, which is a separatist group which Turkey has fought for years. In contrast, the United States has supported Kurdish fighters as key allies in the battle against Islamic State. This stark difference in priorities between the United States and Turkey, despite their membership in NATO, creates further tension in Syria. The future of Syria remains deeply uncertain. Will the rebels push out the remaining Iranian and Russian forces, or will they pursue diplomatic solutions with those powers? Iran, which is weakened by the loss of key allies such as Hamas and Hezbollah, as well as Assad, now faces a difficult choice. With a diminished regional influence, will Iran seek negotiations with the incoming administration in the United States under President Donald Trump, or will Tehran adopt a more confrontational stance, particularly in terms of its nuclear ambitions, accelerating its nuclear plans? The answers to these questions may take months to unfold, but Syria's handling of this uncertain period will have significant implications for the wider Middle East, for the stability of the region as well. The key will be managing the power vacuum left by Assad's rather sudden departure carefully to avoid the country descending into chaos, terrorism, or becoming a failed state, much like Libya after the 2011 overthrow of Muammar Gaddafi.